Okay, Chair, we are now live.
Thank you, Dorothy. Good evening, folks, and
Okay,
welcome.
hello.
I hope you're all well. I hope you are having an enjoyable, restful summer, staying hydrated and staying safe. Of course, we are now in that anxiety-inducing time of wildfires, etc. But I hope you're taking some time to enjoy the warm weather with your families. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'd like to call to order our meeting, the African Descent Advisory Committee meeting, today, August 14th, 2025. I'd like to first ensure that we have quorum. Dorothy, do we have quorum?
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Dorothy. So I'll begin with a land acknowledgement. The Halifax Regional Municipality is located in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and traditional lands of the Mi'kmaq people. The municipality acknowledges the peace and friendship treaties signed in this territory and recognizes that we are all treaty people. I'll start off with a roll call of our members. Is Councillor John Young with us tonight? I don't see Councillor Young.
No, he hasn't joined us yet.
Okay. Councillor Hinch, I saw you earlier. Is Amber Gross with us?
Present. I have a new last name, Maps.
Amber Brown. Correction. My
Okay.
mistake.
That's okay.
Forgive me, Mrs. Brown.
Congratulations. Thank you, Miss Finch.
That will be noted in all of our communications going forward. I'll add a little ring emoji to your name as well. We have Andrew Howe. Are you with us tonight?
Present.
Daryl Johnson sends his regrets. Jerry Taylor, are you with us?
Yeah, present.
Howard Brown, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Welcome, Howard. We'll give you a moment a little later on to introduce yourself. Is Taylor Carvery with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hi. So we have regrets from Renee. Renee is away. Carlotta, as well as Jay Reese. So tonight we have some guests with us. Jerry has invited some folks who are currently in our waiting room. So that is Irvin Carvery, Charles Taylor, and Julian Colley. So when we get to that time in our agenda, we will invite them in for a conversation. So please receive them warmly. Please engage them. They've given up their time. They've been very understanding, adapting at the last minute to our changes in meeting format. So please make the best use of their time, and I'm confident that we'll have some really rich discussions. So moving on to item 1.1, the African Nova Scotian affirmation. I'd like to invite Anzio staff to please recite an affirmation for us.
So good evening, everyone. I'll share the affirmation. So we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, rooted in strength, guided by purpose, and united in love. In this space, we honor where we come from, we celebrate who we are, and we commit to building a future worthy of the generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. And now, item 1.2, we'll move on to the introduction of our new members. I'd like to invite Howard Brown. Please introduce yourself to our committee. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Howard Brown, and I'm excited to be a part of this committee. Looking forward to robust discussions. I'm in the community of Coal Harbor. I'm not sure if there's anything else you need to know about me for now.
Hopefully, as we go on, we'll get to know a little bit more about you, but please do engage with us. We are a lovely bunch and very excited to have you. So welcome, Howard.
Thank you.
So the next item is something you may not have been expecting is an election for our vice chair. So Renee is away and has applied for a leave of absence while she's away on an exchange program. So we will be needing a vice chair since that position is vacant, and we require an election to fill that position. So the role of vice chair is primarily to attend monthly agenda setting meetings, to chair the meetings in the absence of myself, the chair, and to support the chair and you, the committee members in general. So at this point, I'd like to call for nominations for the position of vice chair. Open to you folks to unmute yourself, raise a hand if you wish. But at this point, I call for nominations for the position of vice chair, please.
Can we appoint somebody? Can we make,
Yes, just to nominate someone and then we see who we have. If we need to go to a vote, we'll do so. But for now, I'm just asking for names.
I would like to nominate Jerry Taylor.
Jerry Taylor, do you accept this nomination?
No, thank you. Thanks, though. I appreciate the compliment.
Jerry has politely declined. Do we have any other nominations?
I should mention due to health issues.
Thank you, Jerry. We appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Jerry.
Mhm.
Can we have another nominee, please?
I feel like Andrew would be really good.
We have a nomination for Andrew. Andrew, do you accept?
Um, I actually have questions. I didn't know that was coming up. So my question is actually about our terms on the committee. So I was kind of under the impression that I was finished on the committee. So I'd like to get clarity on what our terms are. I don't want to say yes and then, next month I'm actually done, right? So that's sort of a question I have generally. So I'm gonna decline that.
Dorothy, can we address that now or maybe later after the nominations?
Yeah, sure. I think Andrew's term was coming to an end. He's right in saying that. And then he didn't really reapply to be on the committee.
Mhm.
So technically, he's a member until he gets his replacement.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever his
Understood.
replacement joins the committee, then it'll be the end of his time on the committee.
Okay. Amber?
Yeah, I was just wondering, does a decision have to be made tonight, or is this something that can be actionable where we can take it back and bring names at our next meeting? I don't know.
Ideally, tonight, we have quite a bit of space between our meetings, and I would hate to be absent, unexpectedly, and then things are in a bit of disarray. So ideally tonight.
Has Howard taken over somebody's position or placed on the committee?
I think we had an opening. Is
We
that
had an
correct,
opening?
Dorothy? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Howard took over Chioma's spot
Okay.
because Chioma didn't reapply. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
Andrew,
then-
does Andrew do you not have an interest anymore to stay on the committee, Andrew? Just a question.
I mean, I've got other stuff going on that I kind of added to the plate, thinking I was done. So you do what you got to do, right? But
Yeah.
I'm always here to help. But yeah, just trying to keep balance. You know what I mean?
I truly understand that.
So I'm nominating Amber.
I second that.
Okay. We've got Amber nominated and seconded.
I also hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I do not have the capacity to take on the VP role at this point. I'm very sorry. But I also nominate Taylor or whoever else is not nominated. But I'm going to try Taylor Carberry.
Taylor, do you accept the nomination?
I just think considering I'm not really comfortable enough, even really chiming in certain conversations, I'm just gonna say no.
It's a good opportunity to build that comfort, I would say.
That's the
Trust me,
best. That's the best way to do it.
it's not a heavy lift. The agenda setting meetings are very, very straightforward. 30 minutes every, I think, the week before our monthly meeting, and that's really about it.
Could I jump in? What about Councilor Hinch? Would she be Would you be interested? We had someone from the council as in that kind of role. Councilor Hinch.
Jerry.
Uh-oh. Sorry. I know you're too busy, right?
I have so much on my plate right now.
Okay.
I don't think I would be effective. And I'm lucky I'm making the meetings, Jerry.
Understandable. Gotcha.
So Taylor, are you still on the hook there?
Like, I feel like my mom and dad would be really mad at me if they knew I was giving a hard no. So like maybe.
What does a maybe look like, Dorothy?
I think
No,
we
I think
just
a
need-
maybe
we need
looks
a
like
Pretty good.
let's show her what it is and go from there and move on. That's what it
Okay.
sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also need a seconder for the nomination.
I second it.
It
But
was
Matt,
seconded.
maybe you
Yes.
can sit down with her and have a show her
Yeah.
what's entailed.
Yeah,
Gladly.
I think that'll
Yeah.
work.
I'm definitely open to it.
Okay. Appreciate that, Taylor. So that is Taylor Carvery has been nominated and seconded. And are there any other nominations at this point? Going once, twice. Okay. So we will have Taylor Carvery maybe as our vice chair going forward. I'll do my best to give you a soft landing. Trust me, it's not a lot, and hopefully this will be the beginning of some more leadership in the committee. So thank you genuinely, Taylor, for filling this gap. It's very helpful for us, and we appreciate it. So thank you for stepping out of your comfort zone there.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So Dorothy, is there anything else required before I move on to the next item?
Yeah, just like a motion to appoint her as vice chair.
Okay.
Yep.
So can I get a mover and a seconder to appoint Taylor Carvery as vice chair?
I can move it.
Moved by Councillor Hinch. Can I get a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Seconded by Andrew. All those in favor say aye, and those opposed say nay.
I
I declare that Taylor Carvery is the vice chair for ADAC. Thank you, everyone. Item number 2 is the approval of the minutes from our June 12th, 2025 meeting. Do members have any errors or omissions to the minutes of our June 12th meeting? That would be attached in the calendar invite. Hearing none, can I get a mover and a seconder to approve the minutes?
I'll move.
Moved by Taylor. Can I get a seconder, please?
Second.
Seconded by Amber. Thank you. All those in favor, can I have you say aye, or opposed, say nay, please?
I
Nay.
I
Thank you. I declare the motion has carried. So on to the approval of the order of business and approval of additions and deletions. Dorothy, do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No additions or deletions have been received by the clerk's office.
Thank you, Dorothy. Do members have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
just for clarity, you mentioned you mentioned guests in the waiting room.
Yes.
Is that related to something already on the agenda?
That's related to
Eight.
item 8.1, the History of Africville report discussion.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Is it possible we can skip to them and not keep them waiting any longer? And then come back to this?
That it does
Can
make
we
sense.
just move the order of business?
Dorothy, would that be possible for us to shift things around?
Yep, that is possible, but it is this like the next thing on the agenda because everything else outside of like correspondence and stuff is the next
Okay.
thing after because everything else is none, right?
Okay, so I'll move
Yeah.
through the other items. They're pretty straightforward.
Okay.
And we'll get to that item. Thank you, though, Counselor. That's very thoughtful. So we were on.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Correspondence, petitions, or deletions, I think we were on, number 7.
Yes, exactly. So I'm not hearing any additions or deletions from our members. So can I have a mover and a seconder to approve the order of business as presented?
I move.
Moved by Counselor Hinch. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Seconded by Amber. I'll declare the motion is carried. So business arising out of minutes, there are no items arising out of minutes. Any call for a declaration of conflict of interest? So do any committee members want to declare a conflict of interest as a result of an agenda item? If there are none, we'll happily move on to the next item. Consideration of deferred business, there is none. Correspondence, petitions, delegations. Dorothy, has there been any correspondence received by the clerk's office?
No correspondence or petitions have been received by the clerk's office.
Thank you, Dorothy. No correspondence, no petitions. Do members have any petitions? Okay. Hearing none, we can move to the next item. We do not have a presentation today. However, item number 8 is the information item that has been brought forward. So that is the History of Africville report, which was circulated to members. And I'm hoping you had a chance to read that report. I sent out some questions for us to guide discussion. I anticipate that we're going to have an organic discussion anyway, so think of those as guidance should you need, something to structure your thoughts as we have these conversations. At this point, I think we can bring in our guests, and I'll have our guests introduce themselves. Jerry, would you like to take over at this point and get us started with the conversation?
Yes. Thank you. One of the things I had anticipated was that the committee had a presentation about Africville, and Mr. Carvery would react to that. But I believe I was asking, I'd like to introduce Mr. Carvery to bring us up to date on what's going on with the Africville situation right now. Irvin, if you're there, could you take a few minutes and discuss what's happening as they're trying to remove people from the land once again? Is that possible?
Okay. Dorothy, are you able to let them into the meeting? And then, sorry about that, Jerry. I don't think they've been let in yet.
No,
Oh.
they are in the
are?
meeting right
Okay.
now. Yep, they are. I added them in.
Okay, thank you.
So Jerry had invited, I believe it was Irvin, you
Yes.
invited him to speak?
Yes, Mr. Carvery, did you hear what I was saying? Are you in, Irvin?
And yeah,
I see him.
He's just gonna
but-
get
Oh.
unmuted. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It'd be good if you could explain, Mr. Carvery, if you could explain what's been going on recently in terms of HRM or whoever trying to remove the people from the land as of now.
Mr. Carver, I think you're still on mute, so you just need to unmute yourself.
Oh, there you are.
I don't believe we can do that from our end, so
well, if I could, while we're waiting for Irvin, if he can't get in, there are two other gentlemen, and the thing that I am very proud about is they're quite exceptional, and they have opinions on Africville, the situation, and the community itself. And I thought it would be good to bring them in to give their opinions. And I'll let them introduce themselves because I might make a mistake. Is that workable? Is anybody Bobby or Julian, can you hear? Can you hear us? Whoever's able to come in, come on in.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, go ahead. I know you don't have a lot of leeway here, but wherever you feel, with the topic is Africville, and Irvin didn't get in yet, so you can go ahead and discuss. What we're trying to do is inform the committee about what's going on with Africville today, and I thought Irvin would be a good person to tell us, but he's not able to come in. We didn't hear him, so we're kind of in the middle. So you just go ahead and see what you can do.
It's all right. Well, Bobby Taylor, Jerry's my dad. I've been involved in the community stuff for a while. I was chair of the ratepayers for a while in East Preston, and pretty adept at the history of our community. Africville, I guess I was around for the tail end of it, so I know kind of the end of it. But through history, I know the beginning of it. And it's a pretty deplorable situation on a whole. And I feel like it's never really been told. And I think having a committee like this is a good way to do it because you have the council, you have the ear of the council, and you can actually use historical documentation to show what's been going on for decades with that community and basically bring it to an end. I know most people see that stuff as monetary things, but there's so many things that the community on a whole needs. It's not necessarily about payment, it's about reconciliation, I guess. And in terms of reconciliation, it also seems like HRM's prepared to reconcile with everybody else. So I think it's time to start reconciling with us too. And I guess that would be the long and short of Africville for me. It's just time to tell the story as it's meant to be told, tell the truth, and then just deal with it. Thank you.
I'm wondering, is Mr. Carberry, are you available right now? Or Mr. Colley?
Irvin might go in and come back out. I tried to call him. I spoke to Monica. Maybe Monica's relaying the information back to him that we saw his face, but we couldn't hear anything from him. So
Yes, he
hopefully
really
goes in and
wanted
comes
to
back in.
participate. Sorry. He really wanted to participate, so.
Oh, here he is
There he
again.
is. He's here now.
Okay. Oh, great. So
Irvin, you
basically,
there? We just want to make sure.
okay.
I see you're unmuted, Mr. Carberry, so please let's
Hi,
give it.
Irvin.
Oh,
There's something wrong. Oh, he can't.
Oh. Okay, well, while we're waiting for Irvin, he can come in anytime. I have a couple of things I want to mention about Africville. Is that all right, Mr. Chair, if I go right into it? It'll take me a couple of minutes.
please do.
Yeah, okay. And I've written notes here. It says, in Canada, the destruction of a church is a criminal offense under the Criminal Code of Canada. In the whole world, this behavior is viewed as a hate-motivated crime act. It's a hate-motivated act, like the Klan used to do. The act of destroying a church is primarily prosecuted under the mischief section of the Criminal Code. Section 430(1). This is a general mischief offense which broadly applies to anyone who willfully destroys or damages property. But, however, I was a living Canadian when this happened to my church. I was traumatized and feel victimized by people doing things that the KKK would do to Black people. The appropriate law has been broken. It's Section 430, 4.1. This section specifically addresses mischief in relation to property used for religious worship, such as a church, mosque, synagogue, or temple. This provision is engaged of the act motivated by bias, if the act is motivated by bias, prejudice, or hate, based on this. The Crown has constitutional responsibility to proceed. This is my problem with Africville. This is a hybrid offense, and they should move forward. There's no statute of limitations on it if they go in that direction, and they should go forward with an indictment. If not, the legal system is in league with white supremacist criminals. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but it's that simple. And so the Crown, which is the federal government, or provincial Crown, the presence of a hate motive is considered an aggravating factor. So the judge will then say, okay, now I'll stop there because I have a few more things to say on it. But what I mean is that destroying the church means there's a curse on the city because you destroy God's property. You're saying people who go there to worship God. So if you destroy it and then go ahead and say, we'll pay you money to no. So that curse needs to be removed. So that's the problem with Africville, Halifax, everything. So the criminal behavior that happened needs to be prosecuted by the Crown. And then I'll stop there. I'm not saying anything that the committee has to do, but I think we should be alerting the city, the UN, the provincial government, everybody. We should be alerting them and saying, because our job is to see what did the HRM do to harm Black people? What did they do? What effect their actions have on us? And that is a major problem. The whole world has a comment on Africville. So it's a criminal offense. And I believe that item 401 in the criminal code has to be utilized by the Crown. And we should tell the Crown to go do their job. And we have enough lawyers in our community. Why didn't they pick it up? That's my complaint. And so now, Irvin, I hope you're there because hopefully you have a different, if you have a different opinion, like that's why I brought people in to have their opinions. And also Julian, we didn't hear from you. So if you can, so I didn't want to take all the time. So I'll stop there. And if one of you gentlemen could come forward with your opinions. Please.
Irvin is just trying to rejoin because he has no audio.
Oh.
And Julian is not on the call.
Oh, he didn't come.
No, I did send all the emails you sent to me, but he didn't make it. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. I had a few more things to say on. Well, I'm going to go to another subject then, if that's all right, Mr. Chairman. It has to do with Preston.
Can we hold off on a subject change for now? I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Councillor Hinch has shared the number there, Dorothy. So if you can try that avenue. So for now, let's can we discuss the report? So the our history report was compiled for us for the committee, and there was some information shared in that report based on the history of Africa as requested. My question to you folks was sent in email, so I'm wondering if we could speak to that a little bit. Did you feel that the information was sufficient? Was there anything missing from that report? And let's have the conversation starting from there.
Okay, if I could jump in there. The concern I had with the report was that they were justifying the people who did the report. I know they didn't intend to do this, but they were justifying their actions by talking about the people who got money. They were saying they made deals with certain individuals from Africville, and so everything seems to be all right. I don't think that should be in a report to us. That sounds like they're saying that it's too far in the past and some people got money, so it's not a real issue. Actually, it's not about money, as Bobby was saying, as Charles was saying. So the thing is, the report, that's the only time I had a problem with the reporting, was they were talking about, it almost seemed like they were justifying it by saying, okay, there was money passed. And also the apology. If you apologized, okay, I stole your car. I'm so sorry, but yet I'm still driving it. What does that apology mean?
So Jerry, can I ask which part of the report are you talking about in terms of the money?
Yeah, they were saying that there were people in Africville who got money for their land, and there was compensation given to build the church. And so they put that in there to make it look like there was some reciprocity happening, or that the people were happy, that they got paid. No. The majority of the people in Africville have not been talked to. Their voices have not been heard yet. This is the issue. I don't know exactly where it is in report, Andrew. I don't know where it is.
No, I do see that. I'm looking at it. That's why I just want to be clear.
Okay.
I just want to know which part you were talking about.
Okay. But if they're doing a report for us, and we're talking about people, okay, if your land is worth $300,000 and I gave you $3,000, it's still theft. So there's so many unfair things happening that the people today, for instance, I was listening to the HRM do their planning. They didn't mention Black people. They mentioned diversity. I'm not diverse. I'm a man, like any other man. So I think we have to wake up in our community. And I'm hoping that me bringing or trying to get these younger people to come in, not Irvin. Irvin, I think you're my age. I think we're close to the same, but you've been involved for a long time, and you would be able to, instead of me talking, bring in the community's perspective. Bobby, you as well, and Julian's not there. But the people in the community are not accepting what the city is doing. And to go ahead and plan, while they're destroying Africville continually by developing the waterfront, and say we're dealing with diverse communities. Diverse, in my opinion, unless somebody has a different opinion, diverse means complicated or hard to deal with. We shouldn't allow that to be used to describe us. We're not communities of color. We are African people. We're just people. So if someone says we're dealing with diversity, well, what are you? A magician? What? See, to me, okay, I'm going to stop. I want Irvin or someone to come in, or committee member to say something, because I don't want to be working myself up, because I can get worked up. I don't want to do that.
Appreciate that, Jerry.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. I will address some of what you said there in a moment, just to continue the conversation. But I see, Tracy, you have your hand up. Please go ahead.
Good evening, members of the committee. I just want to clarify a point of fact. The motion said to request the Chief Administrative Officer, who would have then turned it over to us, to research, beginning with the Campbell Road settlement, using available municipal resources and other information provided to the municipality. So the report that you have before you is based on what was available in our municipality or information that was provided to us. That's what we were asked for. That's what we were provided. What we did not do was use anecdotal information. It was strictly based on information that was available that we could then point you to where we got our information from. We recognize that there's a lot more. We recognize that the story is from the municipality's perspective, because that's what the motion asked us for. So if it is not a fulsome report, or it doesn't provide you with the information that you were looking for, our team was tasked with answering the motion, and that's specifically what we did. So I just wanted to clarify that so that you're clear. The information provided was provided based specifically on the motion that was before us.
Okay, could I jump in? Shouldn't we be sending, we're too quiet, shouldn't we be, as a committee, shouldn't we be sending a letter to the HRM, the mayor, letting them know that we are not happy with what happened to Africville and what's still going on in Africville? Because they're going as if it's a conclusion that is in the past. That's what I have a problem with. I think we as a committee should send a letter and also a copy to the UN, because the UN had comments to make about Africville. They had comments, and I believe we should be looking at those. So we shouldn't have to have the UN come in when it's our people that it happened to. We have a right to say we are not content with what happened here. We do not need any more reports, and thank you for the work that's been done. But the point is, we know enough to know that the people were forced off their land and shoved into North End Halifax. They created communities. Is that Irvin?
Come on, yes.
Oh,
Good,
fantastic.
good. Go ahead. Thank you. Finally.
Yeah, I had to use my laptop. I was trying to use my iPhone. It sure wasn't working very well. So I just began to hear here, and it sounds as though you're having a discussion around Africville. And I was able to read the report that was produced by the city on the history of Africville. Now, that history is what was put in there is not even close to the total history of Africville. But I do want to say that the people of Africville in 2010 had an agreement with HRM around a settlement package on the question of Africville, and that seen the three acres of land and the money to rebuild the church come over to the people of Africville. And plus, there was some economic development opportunities with the contracts to cut the grass in the parks, the upper and lower parks. But that was just the beginning. That wasn't to be the end all be all. As you know, there are a number of different groups from Africville. People were not happy with the settlement and were seeking individual compensation. And they started their own lawsuit against the city of Halifax. Where that stands, I don't have a clue. I have not been included in any of the communications around that lawsuit at all. But I can tell you this, that in our conversations, the Africville Genealogy Society's conversations with the people of Africville, there is one thing that we all agree on, and we want to see the land of Africville return back to the people of Africville so that we can look at developing that land ourselves for economic development. In light of that, we have formed what's a group called the Campbell Road Land Trust Society. So any transfers of land would go to the Land Trust Society to be developed. The Land Trust membership consists of the former residents and descendants of Africville. It's open. There are two types of members in the land trust. Voting membership is restricted to those people who can connect their heritage back to the original families of Africville. And then the non-voting members consist of all others. And that includes membership for people not from Africville, but have an interest in seeing what happens with Africville. So that's where we are now. And the Land Trust has a board. We are in the process of doing some capacity building with the board, some governance training, and getting ready to go. We had an initial meeting with the chief of staff for the mayor's office to begin these conversations, but we haven't gone any further than that. But as everybody is aware, housing is a major issue within HRM, a major issue. The province and the federal government, both those levels of government, are very much interested in getting some housing built, some affordable housing. What better place to build affordable housing than out in Africville? And there's enough land in Africville that it doesn't have to be all affordable housing. It can be a mixed-use neighborhood. I can see working in conjunction with the developers around the city to put in some high-rise buildings, apartment buildings, that would be rented at market rent. And you could, within those apartment buildings, you could have a mixture of low-income housing plus market rent housing. But before we even make a decision on what type of housing that should go there, we need to first consult with the people of Africville, do a consultation to find out what their needs are. What kind of housing do they need? And I'm proposing that once we get moving, that we conduct a housing lab to gather and research and gather that information and let the results of that determine how we move forward with the development of the land. So I'm very happy that I've had the opportunity to speak with the committee. Your support for this initiative would be very helpful, and I'm asking for your support on this initiative. And thank you, Jerry, for making me aware of this.
Since you mentioned my name
as your guest.
You mentioned my name. It might be a big mistake. Can I ask you a question? Can you talk about what's going on with trying to remove the trailer and the thing that had you on Supper Hour News a couple of weeks ago, last week, if you don't mind, sir? And thank you for your service.
No, I don't mind, because I held a news conference to bring clarity to that issue around Eddie Carvery and his trailer and the Africville Heritage Trust, because a lot of people were tying the Africville Genealogy Society into that action, and also tying the city into that action. And really, the AGS and the city have nothing to do with that. The city merely, they issued a ticket at the request of the Africville Heritage Trust, but then since then have rescinded that ticket. It has no validity. So the issue is between Eddie and the Africville Heritage Trust. Okay. They want him to remove his trailer off the lands of Africville. And in my news conference, I wanted to make it clear to the Africville Heritage Trust that they merely hold that land and that asset in trust for the people of Africville. That came out of the settlement for the people of Africville, and they were established to manage the asset. So I urge them to reconsider their position, because the city kicked us off our land the first time. And I don't think it would be wise for an Africville group, supposedly representing the interests of the people of Africville, to evict a person from Africville off the land. To me, that is not going to happen. It should not happen. And I offered the services of the AGS to work with the AHT, with Eddie, to come up with a resolve to the situation. So that's what's going on there, Jerry.
Thank you. Okay.
So I don't know if any of your committee members have any questions for me.
I do have a question.
Oh.
Oh, who am I cutting off?
It was
Councilor
me.
Hinch, go for it.
So hi, Irving.
Hi, Virginia.
I'm glad you finally got in. How many people are on the Campbell Road Land Trust? How many people with voting powers and with non-voting powers? How many altogether?
Right. Virginia, we're in the process of populating that land trust.
Okay.
The committee's been so busy with the Africville reunion, but we have a meeting next weekend to begin the process of populating the membership of the land trust.
Is that an open meeting, Irving?
Well, we will be holding an open meeting when this is a board meeting of the AGS next Saturday. And from that meeting, we'll be setting a public meeting for the people of Africville so they can come in, and we will explain the land trust, what its objectives are, what the membership consists of, all those good things. And we'll be asking for people to join the land trust at that time.
Okay. My other question is, like, when you guys made the somewhat deal with the city with regards to the acres of land, why didn't you ask for the whole thing? Like, how come the whole thing did not come into play?
Because at that time, Virginia, the officials of the city and the city council at that time were not interested whatsoever in doing any more than what they did. They were definitely opposed to seeing the reestablishment of the community of Africville. They were deadly opposed to that. But with a change in council, just the council prior to you, as a matter of fact, with the new people that came on, there was a change in terms of how people felt. And there seems to be a change even today. So, and like I said, the 2010 agreement wasn't to be the end. That was to be the beginning of continued negotiations.
Okay. Okay. So perhaps, or maybe we can do something to, get this going forward.
Well, yeah, I'll be giving you a call, Virginia, to invite you to a society meeting, because you're going to be our representative. You are our representative on council. So anything going to council definitely has to go through you. Yes. So I'll be inviting you to a meeting. I just want to get this meeting done next Saturday. That's finalizing our business with the picnic reunion. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you'll be invited to a meeting.
All right. Thank you.
Andrew, did you have a question?
Oh yeah, so one of the things I was wondering about, Irvin, thanks for the information that you provided. Just when you had mentioned about reading the report, because our chair had sent us some questions to consider on the report from the city. Mm-hmm. Around the history of Africville. So when you said you read through it, I just want to ask, when you look at that, is there anything in there that stood out to say to you as a resident of the community, oh, that's not how it happened. It wasn't factual. I just wanted to get your opinion on that. Is everything that we see in the report something that you would consider factual?
Well, first of all, the beginning of the community of Africville, they do acknowledge that some people contest that they were in Africville before 1838. And it's just, as you guys are aware, our history was never written. Nobody wrote our history down. We find our history in other people's histories. So no, there are no accurate records. And what we go on, am I still there?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we hear you.
Oh, okay. You got, okay. What we go on is the oral history taught to us by our great-grandparents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. And that puts the beginning of the community of Africville back in the 1700s. And I just want you to consider something for a minute. 1838 was the first land purchase. William Brown and Mr. Arnold purchased joint land in Africville. Now, Arnold never lived in Africville, so it was only William Brown. That's 1838. Now, why would they build a church in 1839, a year later, if there was only one family in Africville? There had to have been an established community in Africville prior to that. Now, we have some anecdotal evidence of early settlement there. If out in the museum, there's a lithograph that we found at Dalhousie University from 1835, clearly showing the community of Africville in the lithograph. Also, John Wentworth, the governor of Nova Scotia, who brought the Maroons here in 1796, in his diary, he talks about the need to move some Maroons out of the Prestons. And he moved them to two locations. One location was what we refer to as Maroon Hill, which is Middle Sackville. And the other place he said he moved the family to was the shores of Bedford Basin. Now, I don't think that you're going to take a family and move them to the shores of Bedford Basin in isolation all by themselves. So that clearly indicates to me that there was a community of Africans on the shores of Bedford Basin. So it's that anecdotal kind of evidence that points to a much earlier origins for the community of Africville. Now, the other, when I talk about what I read in that report, I mean, it doesn't talk about the number of times that the people of Africville petitioned the city of Halifax for services. And every time they petitioned, it was met with a no. In 1958, the city health inspector reported, and this is a matter of council minutes, reported to council, we have been very fortunate. There has not been an outbreak of disease in Africville because every well is contaminated. 1958. The council then passed a motion to supply water and sewer to Africville. But the Stevenson report came out, which recommended the destruction of Africville. So that motion was never acted on by the city of Halifax. So the wells were kept there up until just prior to when relocation started. When it started, the city came out and put in a huge tank and that's where, as a water supply for the community of Africville. So there are a lot of things that aren't in that report, but what's in there, I guess you could say, is accurate to a point, but what's missing is more important than what's in there. I want to tell you one other thing. I don't want to rant on and on, but when we were building the museum, the church, when the land was brought over, one of the conditions was that we be given environmentally safe land. So we wanted the land tested to make sure there were no toxins or whatever in the land. So where the old Barrington Street used to be, which there was a portion of that still there, when they tested that land, they found levels of toxins in that land that would prevent a permanent housing on that particular piece of land. You could put a museum, you could put an establishment there where people just came to visit and left, but they did not recommend a permanent home be built on there. Now, that's the road that ran all the way through Africville. And I can remember as a child, they used to come out, especially on a summer like we've had with the drought and the dryness, and they would come out with these tanker trucks and they would spray this liquid down on the road to keep the dust down. And we as kids, you're kids, right? You used to ride your bicycles over that and up behind the truck. So if that was still toxic 40 years later, how toxic was it when they laid it down? It was that kind of disregard for the safety and health of the people of Africville that we experienced from the time we were there, and we continue to experience today. So I just wanted to point that out.
Is it all right if I jump in?
Just a moment, if we can have Councillor Young has their hand up.
All right.
Hi, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, John.
Hi, how you doing, everybody? So I have a few questions. Number one, so are the Campbell Road Land Trust Society and the Africville Genealogy Society, so just to get this clear, so they're two separate entities altogether, Irving?
That's correct.
Okay, question two is, has the Campbell Road Land Trust Society ever reached out to Beachville or Upper Hammonds Plains for steps and best practices?
Yes, we have. We've been talking with Beachville and Upper Hammonds Plains about the work that they're doing in both of those communities, and they are a very rich resource in terms of helping us walk through this.
That's great. Just so we don't have to reinvent the wheel and waste a lot of money in trying to send my answers to a different community.
Exactly.
Just a little sidebar on, I know we're talking about Africville and the ability to get the proper information and the most accurate information, so you have a foundation when you're telling your story and trying to get justice. Back in August 2nd, 1827, James Edward Lucas and Moses Oliver purchased land from David Ellis, and that's the inception of Lucasville itself. So has the Genealogy Society or the Land Trust done the in-depth historical research to produce a document that would help with the foundation of your story and your record?
That's a piece of work that still needs to be done, John.
Okay, that's good, because the Lucasville Greenway Society went out and did that for Lucasville. They hired two researchers. They were both students actually at the time, to do the historical research, the archival research, and all the connections that they can get for Lucasville which traced down to Maryland, Virginia, and different pockets along the way. So my suggestion is to the group is we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can still do what we're doing for Africville right now, but I suggest that you get that research done too as well, because that will build the foundation of the records, and it'd be more historical accountability than stories and feedback from families along the way. That could be added to the historical content, because that's what governments are looking at. So that's just a little bit to just as maybe a suggestion, Irving, going up in a going forward strategy.
Yeah,
because
no,
we want this to be successful. So if you have as much information and archival information as you can get, it will be more beneficial to you in the long run. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of that as what's been done in Lucasville. Maybe something like that could be done in Africville as an add-on too as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you, Councillor Young. Mr. Carvery, it's me, Maps, the chair here. I had a question for you.
Sure thing.
I was wondering, have you had adequate support from HRM staff with your exercise to get an understanding of the maybe the map work that needs to happen there to understand the landscape and all of the the materials you may need to get a full picture of the lands as they were and as they are?
Maps, what the plan for the land trust is.
Yes.
We want to first introduce this to the people of Africville. Like I said, we want to populate the land trust. And once that step has been done, then we will approach HRM for some resources in terms of maps and taking a look at what's there and what would be required and all those good things. But first we need to get the land trust populated. I don't want to move too fast.
Okay. Thank you. Understood, and I respect that. And I think what I will do is I will offer our platform as something for you guys to utilize when you're at that point, when you're ready to request further supports, as we can leverage our position to do so from HRM. I'm thinking right away, if it's an issue of staff to help build capacities with the land trust, or if it's about how you better fund and support the community-led archival projects, the oral histories, and all of that. So we'll be here, and we are here for you as needed, even if during this process of fully establishing and filling the Land Trust Society, if there's anything we can do to help and support that along the way, we were happy to do that.
Okay, great. I really appreciate that offer of support, because we're going to need support all the way through. Yes. So thank you very much.
One little question: have you I know you've been involved many years. Have you considered a class action lawsuit? And the other part is what's the best way for the community to help, or this committee? I know the chairman just mentioned some good things, and also Mr. Taylor there. You were talking about the train tracks. I'm wondering, could you elaborate on that if you have time? Elaborate on how to use the train tracks to destroy Africville. Is that a little bit much?
Okay. Jerry, the question around class action lawsuit. Well, we filed a lawsuit in 1995 against the city because the city was getting ready to amalgamate, and we were concerned about the legal matters before Halifax City Incorporate and whether it would carry over to the new HRM body. So the only answer we got was, well, we don't know, but we would advise that you file a lawsuit And with that lawsuit, everything carries over to the new incorporated body. But our intention, based on the best advice that we could get, legal advice, was that the most probable success for the people of Africville would be to negotiate a settlement as opposed to litigation.
Okay.
Because the lawyers that we spoke to felt that we couldn't win in Nova Scotia, and that it would probably have to go to the Supreme Court of Canada. And that going through that process is very, 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 very expensive. And we did not have the resources to do it. So we chose to negotiate. But like I said, there's a group from Africville who continued the lawsuit. I don't know where it stands. You might want your committee might want to go to the your legal department and get clarity on that issue.
Okay.
It may be in your best interest to know where that stands.
Okay. The other part was the community, the best way for, if we're here in Preston, the best way to assist our family in Africville. What's, in your opinion, how do we start? It was really good to see you and Dolly together at the news conference. That was really good. And what I want to do is build on that. How do we as a community show support to the people of Africville?
Right, right. The one thing that I have to say over the years is the positive change in attitude on the part of HRM staff and counselors. The work that we do in Upper Hammonds Plains and in Beachville and in the other Black communities through the Road to Economic Prosperity, we found that the city is very much on board in providing whatever resources that are needed for us to move forward. And we'll be calling on that offer from the city. But like I said, I want to get the land trust populated before we step out and start making moves.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Folks, are there any other questions? Please do keep thinking about ways that we can support.
Okay, so if there's no further questions, I'm going to sign off and allow you guys to finish your meeting.
Thank you for all you went through to get here tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Urban.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, John. I got your message and I'll be in touch.
No problem.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. And the conversation continues. Please do send in any thoughts or questions you may have. I think this is far from a closed chapter in terms of one of our many initiatives. So let's keep this going. I think respecting that the AGS folks are going to work on the Land Trust Society being set up. We'll keep an eye on that. Thank you, Jerry, for inviting folks in. Please do keep us apprised of any further developments and in any ways that we can support.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll now move on to the next agenda item, and that would be our Anzio monthly update. Do members have any questions about the handout that was circulated? Again, that handout would have been in the calendar invite. Are there any questions about that?
I guess just with the the grant program, was that a new, is that a new program, or is that one that's opening again?
So I'll speak to that really quickly. So yeah, so Andrew, that is a new program. So we launched it earlier this year. In February, we awarded our first grant recipients their awards at a ceremony that we had at Halifax Hall. So we had an application period in the fall of 2024, and then we awarded those grants to those recipients in February of 2025, and then we are opening a new application period starting on September 1st. So we'll be looking to award other projects and initiatives with those funds.
Oh, that's good. So then I can ask my other question. Can you give us a highlight of, I guess, the types of programs that this fund, or that this funds?
So yes, so
just an example.
Yeah, no, so also, so if you go onto our website at www.halifax.ca/ABR grants, the program overview is there, but we really want to try to fund different initiatives that challenge and address a lot of forms of anti-Black racism, things that talk about address issues of omission, of misrepresentation and negative portrayal in the media, different historical things, different projects that highlight and share some of the historical stories of different African Nova Scotian communities and things like that. So there's different categories that we are looking for projects to fund, so that they will address and challenge a lot of the systemic and institutional forms of anti-Black racism.
Mm-hmm. Good, thank you.
Any more questions, folks?
Russell, could this be something that Irvin can take advantage of when it comes to the Campbell Street Land Trust to support the work there as well?
So as long as it, like, on the program overview, as long as it aligns with the eligible expenditures, so as long as it aligns with things that are deemed eligible, then it would be considered for a grant award.
Okay.
Any more questions for our Anzio folks? Okay, thank you, Russell. I'll move on to the next item, which is our committee member updates. So at this point, we have our community roundtable. Do members have any updates to share? I'll hold off sharing mine. Open to you folks.
Yes, I have. I wanted to talk about Halifax Water in East Preston, the behavior of them. I was told I could talk about it in this part. Is this the right part? So I can talk about it?
Please.
It's not long, but it's a few words here. It relates to them acquiring lands in the Preston Township. The Halifax Water, as we know, they administer the water in the city. And so they're acquiring lands in the Preston Township around the bodies of water. And they got land in North Preston, 857 Governor Street, and they purchased it at a tax sale in 2012. In 2021, Halifax Water applied to the Nova Scotia Utility and Review Board to transfer stormwater assets from the HRM. So in 2022, it was approved for East Preston. And this means that all lands previously owned by HRM in East Preston now belong to Halifax Water. And what they've done is they've taken that power they've gotten and they've sent bills to people in this community when we're not even hooked up to water. And that was an issue that I wanted to bring to the community's attention. Not that we can do anything right now, but I just wanted to bring that information in. And the fact that they're acquiring lands around. I might as well tell you the truth. I'm tired from talking. I have more to say. What I'll do, Mr. Chairperson, if you don't mind, is I will send that as an email to you, and then we can distribute it to the committee to. I would say be careful of Halifax Water. They're acting like a government, and they're taking lands from our people, and the people don't get compensated, and they're doing it as we speak. And I wanted to show the evidence of that and just email that to you, if that's all right.
That's all right, Jerry. I think in one of our previous conversations as well, we had floated the idea of having someone from Halifax Water come to to present.
I remember.
Can we pull together maybe what we'd like that conversation or presentation to be about? We could maybe think of it in terms of our Black communities. So I'm trying to frame it, because we don't want just anyone from Halifax Water. We want someone specific to the issues that you're raising. So
that's the key point, because there's different Halifax Water issues in different communities.
Okay.
As we heard when Pastor Lenny was here. So just you want to be clear on what it is you're talking about and who it is that's going to address it.
Okay.
Okay.
So how about, Jerry, what your specific, if you could communicate with me what your specific concern is, the specific community that's affected.
Well,
and
two
the
issues.
rest of you. Pardon?
In East Preston, we all have wells.
Yep.
And Halifax Water is billing the community, and the bill is treated like, let's say, Nova Scotia Power bill. So if you don't pay it, they can take actions against you. So that in itself would be enough reason for us to then bring them in to ask why they're doing it. I've talked with them, and it's very confusing when they give an answer. And also the other issue, them acquiring land, and we'll have the maps to show the land they're acquiring. They're not paying money for it. They're acquiring land in our community without the people's knowledge. Okay, mappingandplanning.com.
No, committee.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's who you want to talk to.
Or the Mapping and Planning Committee. Okay. All right. So those people, okay, just 1 second, okay. Maybe you should talk. You should say something. I have a little help here on this. We'll give Mr. Taylor there. Okay, you go ahead. Go ahead. Jump right in.
Hey guys. Just doing some community stuff. I know there are HRM, Halifax Water, they have plans already. So you should talk to the planning committees because they know the ins and outs of the future plans. So they have plans 40 years out. So they can tell you exactly what the plan is for Preston when it comes to Halifax Water.
Want to go to eat? When you're done?
Okay. So folks, what I'm gathering, did Jerry say East Preston Wells initially? Was that, did I hear correctly?
He said that that East Preston is on wells.
Yeah, we're on well water in East Preston. We all have wells, but Halifax Water is responsible. They control the water in the city, and they're sending bills to us as if we are on their water, but no, we're not.
Okay.
And they're saying it's because, I'll give an example. They say if the water from my property runs into the ditch, and Halifax Water owns it, then they can charge me money. That's crazy. But that's actually how they explained it to me. And I also looked in their regulations, and that's how they have it. And they call it groundwater. And so they're charging people when they have no right to. What are we paying for? And the bills are not small, they're large. Okay. And so what I wanted to do is to alert. It's not going to be an easy topic. It's not going to be easy to deal with because it's money. And so they're illegitimately charging the people. Also, they're getting lands. And people in North Preston can't go to Lake Major right now. They can't go fishing.
Okay.
But people think it's all right. But there's no other body of water in North Preston. But there's nobody in North Preston on this committee to talk about that. And that's another issue that I think should be addressed, that the largest Black community in the HRM does not have a representative on this committee. I think we should be doing our best to get somebody.
Thank you, Jerry. So what I've understood from that is we're looking for some clarity around the groundwater issue and the billing
Yes.
From Halifax Water. So that's
Yes.
one topic that we will seek to have addressed. I'll chat with the folks from the clerk's office and ANZIO to see who to reach out to. The issue of acquiring land, you mentioned that that Halifax Water was acquiring land. Is that correct?
Yes, in North Preston, they took land that belonged to right now the North Preston Recreation Association have to pay money to Halifax Water for the land that they used to own.
Okay.
And so they got that in 2012.
Okay. So we'll
And
have our
so-
staff look into that.
Okay.
And you mentioned access to Lake Major. So North Preston folks aren't being given access to Lake Major. Is that what you said?
No, and the way they describe it, the way Halifax Water describes it, they have a responsibility to protect water that everybody else is drinking. So, but they don't own all the land around Lake Major. But the people they were told that they can't go fishing anymore, they can't go swimming, that kind of thing in that water. And you wouldn't want that either. So it's kind of a dilemma. But there's no other large body of water in North Preston that will sustain the community.
Okay.
That's the main body of water.
We'll look
They're
into
doing that
those.
in Cherry Brook. Sorry, they're doing that in Lake Loon, Cherry Brook as well, and they're trying to do that here in East Preston. And so
Okay.
we wanted to alert the community about that, but it's a hard thing to explain.
Okay, folks, are there any other Halifax water related issues that we could all address at once, perhaps? Anything that comes to mind? I saw Councillor Young, you had your hand up. Sorry about that.
No, Mass, mine was just to follow up what you answered my question. When I was trying to figure out how did they acquire the land if they were taking the land. So was it a tax sale or was it? It has to be some kind of way that they acquired the land.
Through the land tax clarification process and through tax sale, and also if the land belongs to any government agency, they just go in and take it. They don't talk to anybody. And there's this thing in 2022 called the Stormwater Service Expansion, is how they're doing it. And so for the last 3 years, they have the thing called Stormwater Service Expansion. And it's not clear which parts of Preston, but they basically can do what they like. And they have no supervision. And they come in and they take land that doesn't belong to them, and they block access for the community.
Okay. We'll see clarity on that one as well, the stormwater service expansion. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Anything else, folks? Halifax Water?
No, I think I'm tired now. Go ahead.
Thank you for your energy, Jerry. Appreciate that.
Mhm.
I'm not hearing anything else related to Halifax Water, but you will hear from me again just to clarify what we're seeking from them and when I know a little bit more about who could come out and present. Is that okay,
Yes,
folks?
sir.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Are there any other community roundtable updates? Do you have anything you'd like to share? What's going on in your communities? What's upcoming? Anything we should be aware of?
I'll just share that there's been a lot of work going on around climate, looking at climate change, educating the community, and these different things. There's some sessions going on currently with a group of folks that went through provinces or communities, African Nova Scotian communities across the province. So we're connecting back to get some more information on climate change, and I think that's something that we also need to be having an understanding of where HRM is at on that as well. I mean, with considering wildfires and all these different things, what are and really I think the most important thing for us is sort of the emergency preparedness aspects of our communities and how can HRM support that work.
Okay. Thank you for that, Andrew. So is there anything in particular that you could see us do in relation to that? Maybe have someone come and speak to emergency preparedness in our African Nova Scotian communities. I don't know, is that the way to go about it? What do you think?
I think what we would want to do is see where the where the work and the efforts are in HRM. What is it that HRM's doing is what I would like to know, because then I can say, okay, here's what my community needs. That's what I can tell them.
Okay.
So I'd like to know, what are you doing, and then I can tell you what are the things that you need to do.
Okay, got you. All right. Thank you, Andrew.
And that's not to say it's nothing.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, there are things happening. I do know that, but just want to be clear on that.
Okay.
My concern with that is that they tell you what they're doing, and then you may come back and say, well, you could possibly be doing this, but they don't want to change their way of thinking. Does that make sense? That's what I'm finding a little bit lately in my conversations with staff when it comes to certain things that residents are concerned about in the community. So if you were to come with what you would like to see, perhaps would be a better way to put it. I mean, because right now we have a fire ban. We have pretty much the same stay out of the woods. And it's not really great direction on how they're saying just stay out of the woods. I'm getting emails. It makes sense to me to stay out of the woods, but there's other folks that are like, why do we have to do this? How come we have to do this? They want answer after answer after answer after answer, and then we're trying to get those answers, but it's still not clear. So I'm just trying to figure out a way where we can propose something and make it land, make it stick. Because I mean, not everybody at City Hall has all the answers. And I noticed a lot of our residents, a lot of our communities, we have great ideas that just don't seem to get put forth.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about it. Not, I wasn't thinking about that, like that type of thing specifically. I'm thinking more about what are the education pieces that are happening in community. What are some of the things where we can empower people in our community around climate change, around emergency preparedness, because that's a real thing, that's physical and tangible, something that is there, it can happen, and it's something that we can affect and change. I'm looking at it from that perspective more than just the policy pieces, I'll say.
Okay.
Yep. I'll give that some more thought, and I'll circle back with you on that one, just on where I've landed with the question to HRM.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's much clearer. What is HRM doing to educate and empower folks around climate change and emergency preparedness? And then we seek someone who can speak to that.
Yep.
Okay. Councillor Young.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I think we should, well, it's just a suggestion, but maybe have them come here first find out what the plans are, and then from there we can take it to council to see what's missing in the African Nova Scotia communities. Find out what they're doing first, and then if it's missing in our communities, those are the things that we can take to council and ask. So you're missing this in Preston, you're missing this in Upper Ham's Plains, you're missing this in Maroon Hill. The pieces that are missing, we need in our communities. So let them tell us what they're doing right now, and we can tell them what's missing. And this would be the place for them to tell it. And then from here, you can take it to council.
Okay. Got you. Thank you for that. Anything more on this subject, folks? If there's nothing more, again, I open up
And
to
sorry,
anyone.
just Chair, if I could just chime in just for a second. Like,
Go ahead, Russell.
I think it would be of value to have folks from the EMO group come and engage with the African Descent Advisory Committee around these issues, because they certainly are doing things in terms of like safety measures and just how they mobilize when, you know, we're in crisis and things like that. But there probably are some gaps. So I think that this would definitely be a good platform for them to come and share kind of what they do and how they mobilize when crisis arises. But there are, as we all know, there are unique things about a lot of these communities that aren't always considered when we're responding to crisis and things like that. So I think it would be of value to have that group come in, or somebody from EMO to come in and engage with this group, or somebody from Environment and Climate as well. So that's definitely something that we can support, you know, moving forward, if that's something that the committee finds value in.
Thank you, Russell.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. Any other community roundtable updates? Anything you'd like to share? I have a couple. So the first one being that is that going to be August 31st? August 31st is the International Day for People of African Descent. So this is an observance through the United Nations that aims to promote the extraordinary contributions of the African diaspora around the world and to eliminate all forms of discrimination against people of African descent. So this is an important day, of course, recognizing that all human beings are born free, equal in dignity and rights, and have the potential to contribute to society and development of well-being and their societies. So big day, an important day. I'm sure there will be some events, activities going on in the community. I encourage you all to get involved in that. I'm not sure what that looks like just yet. I haven't seen too much, but I'm aware of that day as something that's upcoming. I think in future we'll keep closer tabs on the days connected to our folks, to our communities, people of African descent, as well as the community celebrations. I know summertime there's a lot of community celebrations happening, parades and all of that, and I think it's good that we do our part to support, to get out there for each other. So if we could, how do we want to do this? If we could have folks send in some important days, recognition days, observances, and we can maybe compile a calendar of sorts and just keep that running for future.
Is there a website or anything that we can go to, or?
No, but I can look up some important days in general. I just don't have any of the community-based ones, you know, Beachville Days and the likes. I wouldn't know where to start. So if we could have those captured, that would be fantastic. I'll ask our folks at the clerk's office if maybe they're aware of them. I'm sure they'd be a good resource for that. The next items are our letter. So we wrote that letter in response to the use of a racial slur at the June 10th Regional Council meeting. The letter we collaborated on was circulated to members of the Executive Standing Committee and Regional Council in early July. So we're yet to receive any communication back after the circulation of that letter. Our councilors, I'm not sure if, are you aware of anything that we should know?
I believe, well, my executive standing committee, we postponed our meeting.
Mhm.
Or so it's, I believe, I forget when they said. It's close to the end of August, I believe.
Okay.
It's on Monday. Executive is on Monday.
Is it on Monday, Dorothy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
August
and
18th.
I'm on that committee,
Okay.
so I'll inquire about it and then give you an update for the next meeting.
Appreciate that. Thank you. The next item is an upcoming presentation. So in September, our September meeting, we have the African Nova Scotian Road to Economic Prosperity team will be coming to provide our committee with an update on their ongoing work. I strongly encourage you to attend this meeting because it speaks to many of the areas we'd like to be more involved in advancing and supporting work. So it'll be a very good presentation, and please come prepared with loads of questions, and I hope to see you all at that meeting. Item number 10, we don't have any added items. The date of our next meeting, as mentioned, is September 11th, 2025. If there's nothing further, I can move to adjourning the meeting. Before I do that, is there anything else, folks? Okay. Hearing nothing, can I get a mover to adjourn the meeting, please?
I'll move.
Thank you, Councillor. The meeting has been adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good night,
Good night.
Okay.
everybody.
Okay,
See
take
y'all
care.
later. Okay.
Thank you.